Hey guys, Digital Reg here, and I am not going to host a show today. In fact, it's my good friend and new show host, Conrad, who's going to be doing the duties starting today. But there's a different show, just to be clear. And by the way, say hi Conrad.
Hey guys, hi
Yeah.
Rich, thanks for having me over.
Yeah. The new show is called the Toy
Toy
Cabinet.
Cabinet.
All right. So it's still gonna be under this YouTube channel, but the Toy Cabinet will be hosted by Conrad. Basically, the show will talk about toys like the robot toys or any kinds of toys, as well as hobbies like card games.
Collections, other stuff like Nerf guns, maybe.
Yeah. So basically, those kinds of topics will revolve around. We're gonna do product reviews once in a while. We're gonna have collabs and guests from different toy groups and talk about their toys and and all that. So Conrad, I'm not gonna steal any more thunder from you. Now the floor is now yours, and good luck with the new show.
Thank you, Rich. Conrad again here, and we will be starting our toy review for this episode with a very well-known robot called Voltes V. Now, Voltes V has been a staple of the super robot genre. It aired sometime 1977 and is a part of the category called Gatai or combining robots. It's basically a robot composed of 5 different vehicles. This particular toy is called the Mini Deformed Voltes V. Comes from a brand called Action Toys out from HK. Now, I will have to mention that this is a third-party brand. I am not sure if they have license or IP agreements with the original show producers, but they've already produced a handful of robots from different series. Without further ado, let's do the unboxing. So first up, let me show you the front of the box. So it shows all the Volt machines lined up with Voltes V in the background. The back of the box showing more details of the item, and the bottom of the box shows a very good montage of all the Volt machines lined up with their correct sequence number. Let's go and see what's inside the box. So while we're doing that, it's called Mini Deformed because it's in line with the chibi or what you call super deformed type of figures. Now you can see here the contents of the box, all the Volt machines in their respective trays, the Tenkuken or the Sky Sword, and alternate hands for different kinds of poses. So let's remove the blister and let's take out each of the machine on their trays. Nice blister pack, by the way. So we have your Volt Cruiser, Volt Bomber, Volt Panzer, and of course the Volt Lander. So there we display that in their classic Volt-in position. So let's take a look closely at each of the Volt machines one by one. Starting with the Volt Cruiser. So the Volt Cruiser in classic super deformed or chibi style has those cute and chubby proportions of the machines compared to the original or real featured machines. Underneath, we can see Voltes V's face, and it has that fold-up gimmick to enable it to bolt in to the body of the whole robot. Next up, we have your bolt bomber. This contains the arms and hands of Voltes V, and we can see the cockpit where the pilot is supposed to ride in. We can see the vents where normally would be occupied by the hands in robot form, and these fins here at the top, they actually fold back during robot transformation. Volt Panzer, which is a very rugged looking machine even in chibi form. You can see those heavy duty tracks and that armored cockpit in the middle. Now you can see here a cavity where the Volt Bomber will be docking in later during the Volt In process. These tracks are actually removable as part of the transformation process later. Also, we have some utility claws here at the top with the actual claws which can be opened or closed, giving it some nice playability feature similar to the actual machine in the animation. Next up, we have our Bolt Frigate, which is actually our underwater or amphibious craft among the Volt machines. So this will form the waist as well as the legs of Voltes V once they're all docked in. Pretty good detailing here on the cockpit, and we have some nice rubberized radar dishes on top, so they won't break apart even if mishandled during playtime. The ends of the legs are where your Volt landers will dock in during the Volt In position. The fins at the sides fold up to complete that transformation. We have the Volt lander, which I think among the pieces of this toy is easily the most detailed, starting with those grills at the front, those cannons at the sides, some nice chrome detailing there. The wheels are very well represented in chibi form as a representative of the real or the actual wheels in the anime. And we have some extra play gimmick here where the antennas can fold during combine or Volt In process. Let's take a look at the accessories themselves. So we have your laser sword, as we called it here in the Philippines, or Tenku-ken sky sword. Nothing really special about this one, but it's well detailed. Nice semi-gloss metallic paint on the blade of the sword. The hilt is a good detailed gray material, and blade guard is this signature V insignia of the robot during the robot mode. We have different fists to hold the sword. We have a left and right fist, and we also have some closed fist if we want to get into some melee or punching action with your other toy robots. So now that we have all the machines lined up, let's bolt in. So here is the included instruction sheet, which you can follow in order to transform each machine to enable bolt-in. So I'm going to be demonstrating how to transform each bolt machine so you guys can see close up how it is done. I'm not saying the instructions don't show you how, but it took me a while to figure it out just from the pictures, so I had to do it myself eventually. Let's start first with the Volt Cruiser. So like I've shown earlier, underneath the Volt Cruiser, Voltes V space is already on standby. All you need to do is flip this rear portion that contains the thrusters up, and don't worry, the ratchet on the connector might be a little stiff, but you're really in no danger of breakage at this point. So once you have the Volt Cruiser in that point, then it's ready for bolt in. Next up, we have the Volt Bomber. So for the Volt Bomber, you first fold those fins back to the rear position, and then you extend those shoulder joints outward, giving it a wider width overall, and then push that cockpit in. So it's not really that much of a movement, but there is some give there that is needed in order to accommodate the Volt Bomber later on. Next, we have the Panzer. So first thing you need to do, fold those closed backs, and then for the tracks, you have to reposition them on the back of the machine like so, and then push that cockpit in as well until you hear that click. And once that's done, your Volt Panzer is ready. Next, we go with the Volt Frigate. First, you fold those fins at the sides up, and then no need to extend the legs at this point. And then afterwards, push that cockpit in as well. And finally, you have your Volt Lander. First thing you need to do, fold those antennae in so they won't break during the transformation process. Then you can separate the two halves of the lander, and then fold that structure at the top to either side of each lander, and you're all set to go. So let's start from the bottom. Let's connect the lander pieces to our frigate. So if you will notice, you have different connectors for each part of your frigate and lander. This ensures that you are connecting to the correct piece. So let's go with the right leg first. Connect it until you hear a click. Same with the left leg. And then you're done with your leg and foot assembly. Let's connect the Volt Bomber to your Volt Panzer. The connections here are a bit tough, but eventually we have our chest and arm assembly ready for action. Then you want to extend those arms as well so that it's ready for action later on. Then we can connect that whole sub-assembly to the lower body assembly, like so. And all that's left to complete is connect the head like so and attach your preferred fists to the robot. And voila! You've just completed your bolt-in. In terms of posability, this figure is surprisingly posable. The arms extend all the way up like this, only limited by the head pieces on the side. It can rotate 360 degrees. It can also fold 90 degrees at least. The legs can also fold at the knee. So you can actually try and doing a classic kneeling position like this, or what some might call a superhero landing. For the favorite part, let's use the Tenku Ken, or the laser sword. Now, since we know in the show, Voltes V's laser sword actually comes from his chest, we'll have to remove the V here. Maintain a semblance of realism from the show and the figure. And then just attach your laser sword or Tenku Ken to the figure. This figure suffers somewhat from a loose polycap joint at the fist, but it's nothing that probably a few drops of Elmer glue or glue tack won't fix. And there you have it. You have your Voltes V wielding that mighty laser sword or Tenku Ken. So posability wise, I am very impressed with how many points of articulations they put into this toy, given its size and the limited lengths of the appendages. I'm also gonna have to give props to the company for maintaining the overall look of the design, even if it's a non-standard size format. You can see all sorts of Voltes V toys out there that are either lacking in design or detail, or are already compromising on the transformation aspect. But I think for a third-party toy, this one nailed it. How do I rate this toy? I think in terms of details, I'm gonna have to give it a 9. In terms of posability, I will have to give it maybe 8, just because it can't do a crazy 180 degree at the elbow or the knees. But again, given the size of the figure itself, then I think it's a miracle that they gave it some articulation at all. Playability, the material is made of a very good plastic quality, which I think will survive most falls or even some throws here and there. Just don't make it a habit of throwing it to the wall just to illustrate a robot battle in the real world. Overall, this would merit 7.5. So it's definitely something that you'll need to grab and make it part of your collection if you are a Voltes 5 or Super Robot fan. And even if not, then this will definitely be a good addition to your chibi or SD collection on your desk, and a good display piece at the office or at home. So there you have it. That's first review for the toy cabinet, Mini Deformed Voltes 5 by Action Toys. I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. And if you have any comments or questions or suggestions, please feel free to drop one in this video. And hope to see you again in the next episodes. Thank you and bye-bye.